I'm joined now by IDF spokesperson Major Doron Spielman. Major, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us. We saw that glimmer of hope today with the release of 2 American hostages from Gaza. We understand President Biden has now spoken with them. What more can you tell us about their condition and how they're doing tonight?
So we are delighted and really our hearts are full after such a dark period that 2 of these hostages were in fact released. Judith and Natalie, they came to Israel on really a homecoming vacation after their daughter, the 17-year-old Natalie, graduated high school, found themselves in the southern community until they were abducted on that very dark day 2 weeks ago. I can't imagine what they've been through 2 weeks in Hamas custody, like our other hostages inside the Gaza Strip. But we're trying to look at the good. I'm sure that this is going to be a long process of their healing. Right now, the most important thing is that we try to enable them to get over some of the terror and bring them back to their families as soon as possible.
Major, do you think this is a sign, or there may be a sign, that more hostages would still be released by Hamas, including, as you mentioned, the many Israeli citizens being held there?
So as we know, there are still 201 hostages that we know of being held in Gaza that were brutally taken on that day, in addition to 200 people who we don't know if they're hostages or were killed, and another 1,300 who were in fact massacred that we can never bring back home. We don't trust Hamas. Hamas has painted themselves as a humanitarian organization. We know the true face of Hamas are the ones that carried out that massacre, and they're trying to convince the world right now so that they can go underground and rebuild in safety. We're not going to let them do that. We're always working towards the hostages' release on many different levels. But at the same time, our military goal is clear: to completely destroy Hamas. That evil cannot exist coinciding and existing with Israel.
I'm wondering, you say you don't trust Hamas. Obviously, this is some sort of tactic. You're trying to figure out what it is they're trying to do. They still have all these hostages, releasing 2, for what reason? Maybe that they were Americans. But would the potential release of other hostages, affect the timing of what could be a full-scale ground invasion?
So first of all, Hamas immediately needs to release all those 201 hostages. By holding men, women, and children, this is a war crime against humanity. It's sick, and it's evil, and it's insane. Our objectives as the military are moving forward. We hit many, many Hamas targets today and last night in the air. We took out more than 800 targets. We've killed a number of their top Hamas commanders that actually carried out this attack. And our ground forces, naval forces, and air forces are all getting ready for the next stage. And we have received nothing else but the original order, which is our goal is to try to keep the people of Gaza safe while trying to eliminate Hamas. It's hard to do because Hamas is trying to keep themselves safe while hiding behind their civilians. But eventually and over time, we will achieve this goal.
We've seen some satellite images of a field north of Gaza showing a buildup of military vehicles. We're showing it right now. Will the fact that hostages are in Gaza still, and you don't really know where they are, will it affect how you go into Gaza and what you do when you're in there?
So obviously, our forces are training very specifically. There are 3 situations in Gaza. You have, obviously, our hostages. You have the Gazan civilians, and you have Hamas. You have these 3 players that Hamas currently is moving around, both above ground and below ground. This is an incredibly, incredibly difficult mission, especially since the rules of the game aren't the same. Hamas has no rules, as we've seen. They can massacre people. And Israel is right now giving days' notice to try to move civilians out of the way, knowing that Hamas terrorists are going to slip out as well. This is a difficult mission, but to answer your question, yes, this is what we are training for. We have one of the most sophisticated armies in the world, and this is our mission. It's a difficult mission, but it's one that we have one advantage. We have no choice but to succeed. If Hamas exists, they are dedicated to the destruction of the state of Israel and the Jewish people, and they've shown if we don't defeat them, that's what they're going to try to do.
IDF spokesperson Major Doron Spielman. Major, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.